Alright, so today I wanted to do a rather unconventional video on the channel and talk about what my personal list is for the 10 best advertisements Nintendo has ever done. This could be either commercials for products like video games or consoles, or even game trailers, for example, and it really is picked at my personal discretion. So this isn't simply just the top 10 most iconic Nintendo commercials, for example, although how iconic it is can certainly be a factor, rather how much it personally resonated with me and enticed me to really engage with the product is a more viable metric to use for this list. So in total, I would say that there are 3 main metrics I am using to come up with this list, one being how iconic the commercial or advertisement is, 2 being how well it demonstrated its respective product or game and also how creative it went about this mission, and number 3, just how much I personally liked it. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the list. So kicking off the list at number 10 is the Everyone is Here ad for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This was kind of the tagline of this game, meaning that everyone, every iconic character that you may see from Nintendo franchises or even third parties is going to be a part of this Ultimate package. It's of course easy to see why this product did a great job at showcasing Smash Ultimate, especially with the game's commercial success. However, just the fact that I feel as much as I do while watching this ad, given that I'm not like the biggest Super Smash Bros. Player, I feel like is a good testament to how successful of a commercial this actually was. I still remember seeing this ad for the first time whenever it debuted in a Nintendo Direct way back in the day, and I remember just feeling so excited about Smash Ultimate whenever Smash was just never a series that roped me in as much as other people. And once again, I don't want that to get misconstrued as me saying I don't like Smash. I do, it's just not like my favorite IP or anything. At number 9 is a pretty fun one to bring up now because Nintendo kind of recreated this commercial, but it was the Paul Rudd Super Nintendo commercial kind of debuting the system. This was during the 90s, very campy, like now you're playing with power type of vibe that we had back in the day. And Paul Rudd being a part of this, during his really young days before being as iconic of an actor as he is today, is really cool to see. And I'm specifically talking about the original commercial for the Super Nintendo. Like I said, Nintendo did recently remake the vibe of the original for the Nintendo Switch 2, and while I do really like the new commercial, it obviously doesn't hold the cultural weight that it held with its original iteration. I may not have been alive whenever this commercial first hit the scene, however, I can certainly imagine if I was, it definitely would have made me feel just like a total badass playing the Super Nintendo. Number 8 is a very landmark commercial in Nintendo's history, especially whenever it comes to Mario specifically. It is the Mario commercial for Super Mario Bros. 3. This is kind of one of those moments where you could truly see how much of a global phenomenon the Mario franchise had become, where the commercial is very short and sweet and just shows you an entire gauntlet of people chanting Mario, 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 and then the camera slowly zooms out and shows Mario as the Earth and the globe, showing its global influence. I do just kind of like also how concise and to the point this commercial is. It's saying a lot with very few words. All it's really saying is, well, Mario, 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 because everyone wants Mario. It's a fun one, not my absolute favorite on the list, but definitely worthy of being a contender for, well, the top 10. Number 7 is a very interesting one. We have the Wario Land Shake It commercial, which was an interactive YouTube ad, essentially meaning that it kind of played around with the YouTube page surrounding it. So maybe Wario causes destruction in the video, and then you see different elements of the YouTube home screen moving around as a result. This is definitely the biggest case of creativity being a major component of its placement on this list. I still find this completely mind-blowing that this was done, especially as early on in the YouTube ecosystem as it was implemented. And if we're talking about selling the product, this completely embodies the vibe of why people like not just the Wario Land games, but just Wario as a franchise. I mean, it's just completely zany and just out of control, but in the best way possible. I just really like it whenever not just Nintendo, but companies in general kind of go the extra mile to showcase their product and really showcase the team's effort and creativity whenever it came to how they wanted to best market it. At number 6 is the commercial that makes me laugh the most out of any of these on the list. We have the Happy Together commercial for the original Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64. This is where we have a bunch of Nintendo characters characters frolicking around and then randomly like comically beating each other up to Happy Together by the Turtles, which is one of the funniest song choices they possibly could have used for this. It would have been really easy for this commercial to just make the game feel just completely corny and campy, and while it definitely has that vibe, especially with the original game, I think that going with an ad of this sort where you kind of have the players or the characters kind of playfully beating each other up does a really good job at selling the vibe of the original game, with it taking place in a child's playroom and it kind of being like action figures fighting one another. And this ad genuinely did make me be like, you know what, I kind of want to go play the original game right now. Like this just looks fun and like full of character. Number 5, we have the Jump Up Superstar musical trailer for Super Mario Odyssey. During the Switch's early era of fantastic trailers, this is one of the ones that stands out the most because given the whole Pauline scene in the Metro Kingdom where you actually have the Jump Up Superstar song play, here we have a reenactment of it almost playing like a Broadway musical, which is also just a great touch, being that the kingdom is a direct reference to New York City. This is just full of character and life. It is clear that so much care went into this trailer, and it is so much fun to watch. I remember whenever, looking through all of the contenders for this list and re-watching them, this is one that just kind of like had me glued to my screen. I was almost kind of like mouthing the lyrics along, and it kind of brought back nostalgia to the first time I played the game and saw the Jump Up Superstar scene for the first time. At number 4, we have We Would Like to Play, the original ad for the Nintendo Wii, where we had Japanese businessmen showing up to people's houses and, just giving them Wii remotes and having them have at it and just all of the Wii glory. This one may be a little bit more controversial for some people because Nintendo certainly went a different direction with this generation, appealing to much more of a casual market. However, the sales for this don't lie, and this ad was a major reason why Nintendo was so successful. And this was an ad that I saw growing up, as this was one of the first generations that really got me into gaming in the first place, and that nostalgia factor cannot be ignored on this list. But yeah, whenever it comes to successfully showing off what the goal and mission of a product is, and just showing off how the Wii could bring families together, this is about as good of a job as Nintendo could have done. Number 3, Now You're Playing with Power, the NES marketing campaign. I really could not put this on the list, just given how iconic of a statement that is in the first place. You constantly hear people referencing Now You're Playing with Power even to this day. Much like the Paul Rudd SNES commercial, it definitely does feel dated. Like, you can tell this is from the 80s era. I still think it completely embodies that retro, vibe of gaming, and it's a big reason why Nintendo was as iconic as they were at that time in the gaming sphere. At number 2 is probably the game trailer, not even just of Nintendo, but of all time, that has given me goosebumps more than any other. It is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild from the Nintendo Switch presentation 2017. This kind of feels like a complete cinematic masterpiece. It's kind of hard, even if you've never played Zelda in your life and you know nothing about it, it's hard to watch this original trailer and not just like feel like almost empowered and emotional at the same time watching it. Even though I've sunk as many hours as I have into Breath of the Wild, every time I watch this, it kind of makes me want to go back and play it, and that's a beautiful feeling to have from a game trailer. Whenever, no matter how much you've played the game, watching it still gives you that urge to play it like it's your first time seeing it. However, the best Nintendo commercial of all time, I still wholeheartedly believe this to this day, is the original reveal of the Nintendo Switch. Coming off of the Wii U generation, which although the Wii U has its fans, especially nowadays with people looking back at it, there is no denying that Nintendo was at a very tough spot as a hardware manufacturer. They were quickly losing market share in the home console market and needed their next console to really revitalize their business, and it was very important that their initial reveal of it did that successfully. They wanted to really make sure that you were trying to have a good time with this new trailer. And the best thing that they did was make the messaging of what the Nintendo Switch was crystal clear. They did not let what the console was get muddied up by any misconceptions. It was clear. You put the console in the dock and you play on the TV, you take it out and you go play on the go. And the best part about this commercial was that it showed Nintendo finally understood that young adults were their most important marketing demographic, because talking down to little kids in the Wii U generation just proved that it wasn't a viable option. So while this initial reveal trailer might not be 100% the reason why the Switch ended up being as successful as it was, there's no denying that it played a massive role in the shift of the public perception of the Switch and Nintendo as a company. So yeah, that's my personal list of the 10 best Nintendo advertisements of all time. But what about you? Were there any that I missed on the list or should have been higher or lower? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, as it is the best way to support the channel. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, peace out.